Hey everyone, welcome to Marvel Untold. Bear with me with the recent rebranding. This channel is now Marvel Untold, and that's what it's going to be for forever. Today we're going over a very unique Spider-Man story from Marvel's What If series called What If the Alien Costume Had Possessed Spider-Man. This story is from 1989, where the symbiote actually succeeds in taking over Peter Parker. We start off with a recap of the original events after Secret Wars. Peter comes home to Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat, who he's dating at the time, and because she cares so deeply about him, she goes clean from a life of crime. While Peter was away during the events of Secret Wars, Felicia went and got her own superpowers from a mysterious benefactor. She gained the power of bad luck, which would apply to her opposing forces, as well as enhanced speed and agility. However, she finds out Kingpin was the supplier of these powers, which leads to her breakup with Peter. He would then go to Reed Richards and tell him that his new suit was becoming unresponsive. This is where he learns the black suit is actually a living symbiote with a mind of its own, and eventually gets rid of it. In this altered reality, Peter makes his way to the Fantastic Four, but no one is home, so he goes to Dr. Kurt Connors instead. Dr. Connors finds an anomaly in Peter's blood, but chalks it up to Peter's spider powers. He then does a CAT scan on Peter and finds nothing wrong, and has no explanation to Peter feeling so fatigued lately. At the Baxter building, Mr. Fantastic concludes the suit is alive, and shoots at Spider-Man with his sonic blaster, which should have been what removed the suit from his body, but in this reality, it stays. The symbiote has completely bonded with Peter, and begins to take over his mind. Johnny Storm suggests torching the suit, but Reed deems that too dangerous for Peter, whose voice descends into a monstrous growl as he tries to escape. Reed turns up the sonic blaster and knocks the symbiote unconscious. The narration of the Watcher asks the question of what caused this branched reality. Was it the radiation from Dr. Connor's CAT scan that accelerated the bonding process? Or did Peter simply not meet with Reed Richards in time? Reed admits there's no scientific way to help Spider-Man now, and turns to the mystic arts and Dr. Strange. After hours of trying different spells, Strange is unable to separate the symbiote from Peter's body. They wish they had the help of Bruce Banner, but currently he's trapped inside the body of a mind-controlled Hulk. This Hulk bit will come into play later. With the glass cage now being weakened, the symbiote is able to knock out the heroes and escape. The symbiote then spends days traveling the country to avoid detection from Richards. It takes advantage of Peter's powers while absorbing his life force. Peter's mind briefly breaks free and calls Black Cat for help, but mid-sentence, the symbiote regains control, declaring that Spider-Man is no more. Felicia goes to Mr. Fantastic and is distraught that he was unable to help Peter. She leaves in a rage, calling him useless. Out of spite, Black Cat returns to crime, stealing jewelry from an auction house and gives it to the homeless, basically so she can prove she's willing to do whatever it takes to help people, unlike Reed Richards. Meanwhile, it's the clash of the strongest Avengers, as Thor takes on the mindless Hulk. Currently, Banner's mind is buried deep inside the Hulk, courtesy of Doctor Strange villain Nightmare. Strange tries sending Hulk into a dimensional rift for the time being, but before Hulk can make it through, his leg is grabbed by the symbiote, who launches him back and incapacitates Strange. The Hulk tries attacking the black suit, but quickly realizes he's the one being hunted. The symbiote launches onto the green monster and begins to wrap itself around him, dismissing the body of Peter. When he's examined on the ground, he now appears as a frail old man, while the symbiote takes over the Hulk. The Avengers are no match for a symbiote-bonded Hulk, and he escapes once again. At the Avengers mansion, the now elderly Peter Parker is resting, and details how the suit absorbed all his energy, and then went on to find another powerful host before dropping him. Black Cat demands they find and kill the Hulk, but Thor is hesitant since Banner is still trapped inside. Peter doesn't know what to do, but knows he's lost about 50 years of his life. He then goes to see his Aunt May, and introduces himself as an associate of Peter's. He sees this as his opportunity to tell her how much he means to him, and quickly leaves. May feels as though the man she was speaking to was in fact Peter, but dismisses the idea. In this reality, Mary Jane and Aunt May would never see Peter Parker again. Back at the Avengers mansion, Reed Richards finds that Peter Parker has died of old age. The Avengers pay their respects and have a funeral for their friend Spider-Man. Felicia stands alone at Peter's grave when Wilson Fisk shows up to pay respects to one of his greatest foes. Mr. Fantastic uses Peter's final research to create a device that tracks the symbiote and a weapon to destroy it. They track the symbiote to Mount Rushmore and set out to end Spider-Man's killer. Thor is the first to find the Venom symbiote, who's ripping a piece of the earth from the ground, absorbing more power as Hulk's body exerts more energy. And I know technically the symbiote isn't called Venom yet, but for this video's sake, we'll refer to him as Venom. Venom claims he didn't know the damage he was doing to Spider-Man's body, and is actually remorseful, but now he's achieved true symbiosis with the Hulk's body. He claims he's restoring Banner's mind in return for absorbing the Hulk's powers, but this also implies he plans to leave Banner alone to find a new host. Thor demands the symbiote be taken into custody, but it resists. Venom webs at Thor, who blocks the attack with Mjolnir. However, this was just a distraction, as Venom punches Thor into the side of the mountain. Thor retaliates and throws Mjolnir into the symbiote, which causes it to ooze off the Hulk's body. This reveals the body of Bruce Banner. So the symbiote was telling the truth in that it was freeing Bruce. Then the symbiote begins to latch onto Thor, who tries his hardest to resist. In a last-ditch effort, Thor summons lightning on Venom, but this only weakens Thor himself. The symbiote now has the resilience of the Hulk and is unfazed. Mr. Fantastic blasts the symbiote-controlled Thor with his sonic blaster, but once again, this only hurts Thor and strengthens the symbiote's hold. Reed drops the sonic blaster and holds his Omni blaster, which may actually kill the symbiote, but with Thor as a casualty. While Reed hesitates, Venom runs away to complete the bonding. Johnny Storm chases him into a cave, but is almost killed by a lightning strike. Then Captain Marvel takes her turn at him, but Venom uses Mjolnir to absorb her energy and shoots her back out, reverting her to her natural human form. Vision advises Reed to kill the creature no matter the cost, but he says he has one more idea that may be able to save Thor. 30 minutes later, inside Mount Rushmore, Thor is slowly losing his mind to Venom. They're approached by a figure in black, and the symbiote suddenly knows fear. The leader of the Inhumans, Black Bolt, has arrived at the opening of the cave, and before the symbiote-controlled Thor can do any more harm, Black Bolt lets out his quasi-sonic scream, which destroys the whole mountain. The dust clears and Black Bolt stands with Thor, who is alive and now free from the alien. They examine the symbiote, which is still alive, and Reed, in his naivety, wants to keep it in a cell, while Strange offers to send it to the Crossroads dimension, where it can survive without harming others. Strange is about to send Venom away when suddenly a large blast comes from out of frame, which finally kills it. We see Black Cat holding another Omni Blaster, disgusted that they were treating Peter's killer alien as if it were a person that could be helped. Felicia says she had to pay a price to do what she knew these heroes couldn't, and throws the blaster at Reed's feet. As she walks away, the Watcher's narration details how she got another blaster. The night Peter died, she stole his notes along with Reed's blaster designs, and gave it to the one person who could help manufacture the devices, Kingpin. Fisk would provide her with the weapons and a private jet to follow the symbiote, but in return, she had to pledge her loyalty to him and work under Kingpin for life. When Peter lived, she disavowed her life of crime for him, but in his death, she had to return to it so she could avenge him. This is such an interesting story, and I would love to see this adapted today in some form. I think this would be a really cool episode for Season 3 of Marvel's What If series, if that happens. I'd like to give a big thanks to Spider-Bat and Annabelle Damon, who have now joined the Spider Legend membership tier of my channel, which is the highest tier and gets you a shout out. With the base membership, you get access to Marvel-inspired emojis to use in the comments as this channel grows. Thanks for watching, true believers. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did, and I'll see you next time.